This I love the Romans, but it has no place in the heavenly calendar. So okay. So the first ever ceremony began at 11:15 a.m. and it was led by true parents. First true father, he walked 3 steps in the northern direction, which is there. This is north, right? Or maybe it's there. Or it's there. Where's north? Look at your compass, because Montreal is an odd shape. You never know where north is in Montreal. Because you think Saint Laurent Boulevard is going south to north, right? But in fact, it's going southeast to northwest. It's not a straight road going north. So we got to get the compass out. Another thing to bother us about, right? And so Father started to pray that we're so grateful that God established us, the unworthy humankind, and all things to belong to God's side. And after the prayer, everyone chanted hymns of praise, and true parents then presented some gifts of money to the members, right? Even though they were so poor, maybe they gave them a few coins. And then the members bowed when they received it. And then Father again started to pray, Heavenly Father, you who established the true parents, true children, and true holy grounds now, we are offering all things and the people to you. Please dominate the whole world. Also, we are offering the first day of the 5th month, according to the lunar calendar, all day of the day of all things. Please receive our offering. So this was the beginning. This was before Father went on the world tour to bless the holy grounds, because Father originally wanted to go to the world earlier. Some say he wanted to go in the 50s, some say he wanted to go in 1961, but there was a coup d'etat in Korea at that time. Then some say he wanted to go in 63, but he couldn't go until 1965. So when you think of the day of all true things, it's connected to the 3rd blessing. We have 3 blessings. First is to unite with God. First is to become one with God in our mind. Who is one with God with their mind? Is your mind always with God? Is your mind always thinking like God? Is your mind completely one with God?
Not yet.
Nobody here.
Not yet.
Is there even one person whose mind is always with God, so that everything you do and you think and everything you feel are God's feelings?
Yes.
Not yet. Yuko, she only feels for you like God would feel, Gino. Ask her. Maybe she'll tell you if she is. Right? This is always the challenge. Can I have our mind united with God? And then the second thing is that our relationships with each other, what we say, how we glance, how we treat our spouse, our children, is always like God would want us to treat them. Right? You're always smiling and kind, polite and generous and gentle toward your children and your spouse, and by extension, toward your brothers and sisters, towards your friends. Are you like that?
Not yet.
Not yet. So then the third thing is we're supposed to practice that with creation. Last week, my wife and I said, we better plant now. We plant flowers, and we planted some basil and some oregano and some tomatoes and some corn and some chili peppers. And we planted all the things that we could. And we said, it looks like we will have good weather. We will have good weather because it's warm today. It's been warm the last few days. We're going to have warm weather, right? Guess what? It got cold. It got cold, but we got a lot of rain. We got a lot of rain. The soil was moist. And I learned a few things from farmers like Marc, right, about planting corn. One year it grew, and I had corn until the squirrels ate everything. Now I have to figure out how to get the squirrels not to eat this, but this is part of the relationship with nature. This is part of the relationship. I was never doing this before the pandemic. I had no time, but during the pandemic, I decided, well, I'm going to plant some things in honor of my ancestors, and especially my father, who was dedicated to taking care of the garden when he was alive. So it's a great joy for me and my wife to take some time to bend down, to get on the soil. You know, we're getting old. We're having a hard time climbing the stairs. We're having a hard time bending over. I don't know why. I think we really are getting older, right? But this keeps us in shape and keeps us excited, because then when we see a tomato or we see some lettuce or something like that, you know, something grew. And this is part of the experience with taking care of the third blessing and connected to the day of all true things. So as we celebrate this day, remember that we have three simple goals in life. Three. It's not complicated. Three simple goals in life: to become one with God, to love others, including the people really near you. Don't forget them, right? To love them as God would love them, and to love nature as God would want us to love them. So that's my message today. Thank you, and God bless you.
So to continue our service today, following this, we have a video. It's not a video. What is it? Okay. Okay, it's not a video, but it's something that we will be listening to, right? Okay. Thank you, Marc, for finding this beautiful song about Heavenly Mother, written by David Eaton, indeed, and this beautiful voice that sang it. So now let's welcome Marc for the message that connects to that about Heavenly Mother.
Thank you. Now I will give my sermon in English. Last time I did that, to giving a sermon in English, after why you spoke in English? You're supposed to be French. This is your French service. Why you spoke in English? And this time I was asked, you got to speak in English this time. You got to speak in English because Franco spoke in French last time, put a lot of effort in preparing. So he says, no. So I figured, well, I have to, adaptable. So English. The song, I didn't find it. It's the song that was sang at the the entrance ceremony of the Chadwangung. And it's a song composed by our brother David Eaton. I thought it's a very beautiful song. So, yeah, I felt it would be a good introduction to my topic this morning, my sermon. Shouldn't be a too long sermon because, you've already heard, a sermon. So when I was preparing this, I didn't know it was going to be the day about true things. So my sermon is not about the day of all true things, or the day of creation. Well, it's odd. It's about women. And, for a man, sometimes talking about women, it's a bit touchy for some. But I've been thinking about this for quite a while, this sermon. And I thought, well, this is the occasion. But because of the circumstances, we had a big conference yesterday and we had to work a lot to prepare for that. And at the same time, prepare my sermon. So the things I'm talking about would need probably more, to go deeper and, in a more profound way in many of the things I'm going to talk about. So it's going to be kind of a sketch, and I apologize if you feel that, well, the sermon is not so well crafted. Yeah, it's true. It could have been crafted better, but so I'm asking Heavenly Parent to be with me in sharing these things. And I just want to say, actually, before I start my sermon, a little comment on the previous message that was given to you a few minutes ago, right? About God, are we aware of God every minute? Or do we feel His presence every minute, every time, all the time? Do we think about God? That's kind of hard, right? But actually, I remember Father saying in a quote, I would have to look it up for you. It's in the John Young, one of these books. And Father says, God loves goodness. He loves goodness. And God is present in every act of goodness. Wherever someone does something good, God is there. Even though these people may not even believe in God, are not aware, still doing something good for others, doing a kind and loving action, it attracts God and God is there. So you can try all your effort to, I must think about God. I must think about God. What I would think, focus on doing good things. Focus on loving others. Focus on that. God will come. God will be there, even if you're not aware of it. So that was my comment about this. Okay, so as I said, my sermon will be short, not because there isn't much to say about women. One could speak endlessly about them, right? Why? Because women are like God. Always something new to discover, full of mystery. For us men, anyway. So we know from the principle that God has both masculine and feminine aspects. But these days, our true mother is putting an emphasis on God the Mother. And many of us are a little bit kind of imbalanced about this, so God the Mother, the Heavenly Mother. And also, Mother, likes to be called Wang Oma. She talks about the only begotten daughter, about the Holy Mother Han, but she likes to be called Wang Oma, which means grandma. So okay, let's see here, the clicker. Now we had a lot of problems with it, but we put new batteries and it's supposed to work. And maybe you need to give, oh, here we go. Hey, wow. She looks so much like my sister, but it's not my sister. It's my grandmother. Yeah, at the age of 16. And the picture was taken around 1900. That's 125 years ago. I do that because, these women who has been important in my life. And my grandma, I'll show you the next picture right away. The next picture was taken a little bit later on with her husband, my grandpa. And that was not too long before he died, because he died when I was 1 year old. So he met me, but I never really met him. So they were a beautiful couple, loving. My grandma was important to me. She died when I was 13, but there was something special about her. And I want to tell you a little story that maybe some of you I've told. Is one day, she had many kids. One day, one of her younger daughter was very, very ill, very sick. And in those days, you just don't go to the hospital this way. Anyway, they called in the doctor. Doctor came home, examined the child, very high fever. I don't know exactly what was the situation, but they're very sick. And the doctor, who had been the family doctor for many years, he said, my grandmother, Mrs. Danseau, that was her name, I've always been honest with you. Your daughter won't make it through the night. So he said, I'm so sorry. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll bring the papers, And my grandma told him, doctor, there's one thing you got to know, is that God is stronger than the devil. And the doctor's, okay, so he went away. So my grandma then, in the evening, she told the other kids, okay, she told the older ones, you take care, you do your thing. I'm going to go into the room. Nobody comes in. I don't want to be disturbed. So everybody, I'm sorry, I get emotional when I tell this story. But so my mother went in, my grandmother, and closed the door. Nobody dared to disturb. And the next morning, the doctor came to the room. The little girl looked fine. He checked her out. She was fine. He says, there's nothing wrong. He says, and he told my grandma, he says, what did you do? What happened? I told you, God is stronger than the devil. And nobody knows what she did. She prayed all night. She made some conditions. She made this, whatever. Nobody knows. My mother, she knew that. She was there at that time. She didn't. She doesn't know. She never said. So why I say that? Because is this power, in women, there's this incredible power. I mean, men to some extent, but somehow women have this incredible power. The potential is there for this incredible power. So, and that's one reason I want to talk about today about this feminine aspect of God in a way. Well, the other woman that had an important role in my life, of course, is my mother. Now, this picture was taken, of course. This is my father. It's at the time of their wedding. So they were young and happy, beautiful, looking forward to a good future, a lot of hope. That's how it is in every society. Basically, that's how it is when people marry. This full of joy and hope, and wow, the world is, we're there to win the world. But between my parents, the road eventually became a little bumpy, and they divorced after raising 8 kids. So I'm showing this to you because these photos remind me that since the beginning of time, life has not been easy for women. For my grandmother, it was the family, but it was rough. They were poor. It was not easy. Due to the fall, there's been a rift between men and women, right? Even though they were attracted to each other. Love was present in their relationship, but it often turned sour. And most often, women ended up holding the short end of the stick. Despite this situation, for tens of thousands of years, that goes way back. People all over the world, men and women, have revered the mother goddess. It was the principal god in ancient religion. Paleontologists and archaeologists, when they discover, these statues or the different artifacts from 10, 20, 30,000 years old, overall, they mostly represent women. And usually it's a woman that's worshipped, that is God. Because at that time, in those days, for tens of thousands of years, it represented Mother Earth, the provider. So, well, here's a picture of such a goddess. I mean, that was done recently, and you will recognize it. Aha. You probably all seen this picture, right? It's in the Chonwon-gung, in the section about the history of the Han people of Korea. It's the first picture when we come in. Now, maybe some of you are aware that there was a little controversy when this picture came up, when we saw this picture, because people thought, looking at it, oh, wow, it's true father worshiping mother. So that was created some confusion. That is not the case. Okay, this it's actually a scene from ancient Korea 5,000 years ago, representing the king of the Han people before Mago, the mother goddess of the Han people. So this is Mago. It's not true mother. It's this mother goddess, as I was talking about. And this is not unique to Korea. This type of female-centered religion existed everywhere until male gods became dominant when developing civilizations needed strong, warlike divinities to help them in battles. But as I said, for thousands of years, it was the mother goddess that was the main god. And then a few 3,000 years before, Christ, when these civilizations rose, it changed. So So in those days, then men became very good at handling swords and other weapons. But women had other powers, like the knowledge of plants, healing, and charms. And because men could not fully understand these powers, women were often called witches, because actually they were misunderstood. And of course, because it was a fallen world, some of these aspects were also used for doing evil things. But, in the, I think, yeah, witches have long been portrayed in a variety of ways throughout history, ranging from wicked, evil, cruel, naughty, and sinful, but also benevolent, protective, divine, warm-hearted, and in communion with nature. And many women who were burned at the stake, sometimes they knew about herbs, they knew how to heal people, they knew how to do things, they had some sensibility with nature that people did not understand. So in the Christian world, witches and witchcraft have been considered evil and satanic, and therefore needed to be fought and destroyed. Now, if Jesus had lived and found his wife, and together become the true parents, things would have been different. The masculine and the feminine would have formed a perfect unity, and the spiritual and the physical would have been in harmony. Because of that failure 2,000 years ago, the feminine side of humankind went the way of suffering. Now let's listen to a song that speaks of witches. But it's not a Halloween song, because I think this song is actually quite moving. I feel it expresses the heart of Heavenly Mother, who has been suffering for thousands of years. It's a classic French song entitled Une sorcière comme les autres, a witch like all others. It's really a deep and sad song. So I worked a long time on this here. We will play the song, and it's in French, but the English translation will be on the slide. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. Okay, Pierre.
S'il vous plaît, soyez comme le duvet, soyez comme la plume d'oie des oreillers d'autrefois. J'aimerais ne pas être portefaix. S'il vous plaît, faites-vous léger, moi je ne peux plus bouger. Je vous ai porté vivant, je vous ai porté enfant. Dieu, comme vous étiez lourd, pesant votre poids d'amour. Je vous ai porté encore à l'heure de votre mort. Je vous ai porté des fleurs, vous émancelez mon cœur. Quand vous jouiez à la guerre, moi je gardais la maison. J'ai usé de mes prières les barreaux de vos prisons. Quand vous mouriez sous les bombes, je vous cherchais en hurlant. Me voilà comme une tombe et tout le malheur dedans. Ce n'est que moi, c'est elle ou moi, celle qui parle ou qui se tait, celle qui pleure ou qui est gaie. C'est Jeanne d'Arc ou bien Margot, fille de vagues ou de ruisseaux. Et c'est mon cœur ou bien le leur, et c'est la sœur ou l'inconnue, celle qui n'est jamais venue. star, fille de rêve ou de hasard. Et c'est ma mère ou la vôtre, une sorcière comme les autres. Il vous faut être comme le ruisseau, comme l'eau claire de l'étang qui reflète et qui attend. S'il vous plaît, regardez-moi, je suis vrai. Je vous prie, ne m'inventez pas, vous l'avez tant fait déjà. Vous m'avez aimée servante, m'avez voulu ignorante. Forte, vous me combattiez, faible, vous me méprisiez. Vous m'avez aimée putain et couverte de satin. Vous m'avez faite statue et toujours je me suis tue. Quand j'étais vieille et trop laide, vous me jetiez au rebut. Vous me refusiez votre aide quand je ne vous servais plus. Quand j'étais belle et soumise, vous m'adoriez à genoux. Me voilà comme une église, toute la honte dessous. Ce n'est que moi, c'est elle ou moi. Celle qui aime ou n'aime pas, celle qui règne ou se débat. C'est Joséphine ou la Dupont, fille de nacre ou de coton. Mais c'est mon cœur ou bien le leur, celle qui attend sur le port, celle des monuments aux morts, celle qui danse et qui en meurt, fille bitume ou fille fleur. Et c'est ma mère ou la vôtre, une sorcière comme les autres. S'il vous plaît, soyez comme je vous ai. Vous ai rêvé depuis longtemps, libre et fort comme le vent. Libre aussi, regardez, je suis ainsi. Apprenez-moi, n'ayez pas peur. Pour moi, je vous sais par cœur. J'étais celle qui attend, mais je peux marcher devant. J'étais la bûche et le feu, l'incendie aussi je peux. J'étais la déesse mère, mais je n'étais que poussière. J'étais le sol sous vos pas, et je ne le savais pas. Mais un jour la terre s'ouvre, et le volcan n'en peut plus. Le sol se rompant découvre des richesses inconnues. La mer à son tour divague de violence inemployée. Me voilà comme une vague, vous ne serez pas noyé. Ce n'est que moi, c'est elle ou moi. Et c'est l'ancêtre ou c'est l'enfant, celle qui sait d'où se défend. C'est Gabrielle ou bien Eva, fille d'amour ou de combat. Et c'est mon cœur ou bien le leur, celle qui est dans son printemps, celle que personne n'attend. Et c'est la moche ou c'est la belle, fille de brume ou de plein ciel. Et c'est ma mère ou la vôtre, une sorcière comme les autres. S'il vous plaît, faites-vous léger. Moi je ne peux plus bouger.
I don't know if you got it all, but it's not a perfect song, but it expresses, I think, a side. And I think sometimes with these things, I think, well, what if it's God singing this song, the voice, Heavenly Mother, it's all the suffering for so many years, having gone through so much, and asking us, but basically asking men, gosh, make yourself lighter, try to understand my heart. And, for a long time, my two parents have said, we can't really understand God if we don't understand his suffering and the suffering he's gone through. And I think this song, I know we always want to have happy things, but sometimes it's good to be reminded of, that there is some suffering. We have to get out of this suffering. So, in that song, she mentions the mother goddess, as I said, how they were mother goddess were worshipped for thousands of years. Well, this refers to something, a concept called the sacred feminine or the great feminine, which is a symbolic, I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you seen the movie or read the book, Da Vinci Code? Talks about it, talks about it, this concept, because it's found in art and everywhere, since the beginning of time. So the sacred feminine is a symbolic, spiritual, cultural, and sometimes political concept. It designates a force, an essence, or a fundamental dimension of the feminine, often associated with creation, nature, intuition, ancestral wisdom, healing, transformation, and more broadly, with an energy that complements the masculine. In spiritual, mythological, and esoteric traditions, such as Taoism, Greek myths, shamanism, Tantrism, and even psychoanalysis by Carl Jung, the sacred feminine is seen as, the original mother, the source of all life, the Mother Earth, intuition, receptivity, the cycling way of life. And it's opposed to rationality, linearity, and domination, which is more male. And this concept is not just about women, but it's an energy present in everyone, men and women, complementary to the masculine, like the yin and the yang. And in a way, in the principle, that's what we teach, right? We all have both masculine and feminine aspect. So, now I will play another song, but it's different. It's written and sung by a man, Daniel Lavoie. He's a well-known singer in Canada, in Quebec, but he's from the out west. He's from Manitoba, I think. Yeah. So, and as you see, the song is called Béni soient les femmes. That's the title. So it talks about, in some way, about how men have behaved and everything, but he gives, it's a hopeful song. It's a hopeful song. And so it's, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Oh, no, okay. Whoop, did I jump the slide? Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. No. Yeah, this is, sorry about that. So, yeah, start. Whoa, what happened? Yeah, it's coming.
arrachent la terre à leurs pieds. Ils tracent des frontières pour se les disputer. Ils sèchent les rivières, brûlent bois et forêts, font l'été de l'hiver, inversent les marées. Ils cherchent le profit sans même en profiter, se lancent des défis comme on jette des dés. Ils sèment l'injustice, récoltent la misère. Au bord du précipice, ils regardent en arrière. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Quand on voit ce qu'ils font, quand on en fait la somme. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Ils se créent des empires et des palais de verre. Ils prennent leur désir pour ce qu'il reste à faire. Ils réclament l'amour, ne pensent qu'à le faire et vivent au jour le jour, demain pas mieux qu'hier. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Quand on voit ce qu'ils font, quand on en fait la somme. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Ils se donnent raison, ils se donnent le temps, exigent le pardon mais n'en font pas autant. Ils s'endorment le soir, blottissent les tremblants. Est-ce qu'habillés de gloire, on est moins nus qu'avant? Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Quand on voit ce qu'ils font, quand on en fait la somme. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes. Quand on voit ce qu'ils font, quand on en fait la somme. Bénis soient les femmes qui aiment encore les hommes.
Alors, là, je termine avec cette photo qui est la dernière image, la dernière tableau dans la section de l'histoire du peuple Han. Alors, oh yeah, I'm speaking English. So, anyway, that's the last painting in that exhibition. Our two parents have opened a new era where the feminine and the masculine are reunited, where men and women each take their original place, which is together, side by side. I know we all believe that, but because we grew up in a fallen world, it remains for most of us, men and women, a real challenge to put this into practice. Yesterday, we had a UPF event, and we talked a lot about peace, right? Very important. Everybody talks a lot about peace. But true peace will only appear when men and women realize and accept the original nature of one another. And I could say more about that, but I will end here. So thank you so much. And let's pray. Beloved Heavenly Parent, Heavenly Father, and Heavenly Mother, we are truly grateful, truly, truly grateful because we live in a very historical time. We're really privileged to be witness to what's happening now in your providence, how history is being changed, how history, the real history, is starting. And the old history will be just that, an old history. Maybe we'll, in time, everything of the past will be forgotten because of so much pain, so much misery. And of course, our sisters, our mothers, grandmothers, even our wives probably have been suffering for too long, for too long. And your heart bleeds because of that, because there's one part of you, well, all of you have been suffering, but there's one part of you maybe that suffered more. So now with the two parents, we have a new model. We have a new way to think, to look at each other. And maybe this true peace that we talk about, maybe we won't see it for a few generations. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. The true parents made sure of that. And our mother now true mother is pursuing that goal. You know, she has but a limited number of years ahead of her, and she wants to do so much. Please help us also to understand, because mother has to go fast, and maybe too fast for some of us. So help us to understand her heart, understand your heart. And as Dr. Franco mentioned, you know, we must try make all the efforts possible to see from your point of view how you want us to see things, to pursue, to live. So we want to be very humble before you, before our true parents, and make our heart open to your heart, because we truly want to understand, and then really put in practice all the truth that has been taught to us. Well, thank you for this opportunity to share this with my brothers and sisters, and it's with a humble heart that I offer this moment and this prayer in gratitude to our true parents and our true mother, in the name of Marc Laurin, a blessed family. Adieu.
Well, thank you, Marc, for this very timely message today, because as we know, there's a direct link between women and things of creation, because we talk about Mother Earth, right? So Mother Earth is suffering, women are suffering, and we as men have to better take care of our sisters, our wives, and our daughters. And also we have to take better care of Mother Earth on this day of all true things. And thank you for these sharing these beautiful songs. That you always have a very nice PowerPoint every time. You really have a great artistic touch. So thank you for that. And now it's time for announcement.
Well, merci, Marc. Thank you, Marc. I always love these songs that you share with us, the sonnets and the genre of Dante and Tennyson and many others who like to sing long songs or recite long poems with a lot of content and complexities. And I remember I used to love reading these things when I was in school, but I never had the occasion to read these. So interesting points that you brought up about the witch and the good witches and the bad witches. And I know that there's a lot of content there. So actually, yesterday, I wanted to share a little bit. So one thing before I go into what happened yesterday, there will be a meeting with Damien Dunkley in Las Vegas this coming Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow, and the missionaries who actually came back to Canada and they fundraised in the Toronto area for about 5 days. They're going back to Las Vegas, I think today or tomorrow. And all 18 of them, we have 18 missionaries in Canada, 18. We have the largest percentage per capita of any country in the world. Even the United States doesn't have much more than 20. And for some reason, Canada's a golden country, but they will come back and we will have 7 here, 3 boys and 4 girls. I can't count anymore, right? 3 boys and 4 girls that will come back to Montreal in the next few days. And then people like Francois will be happy to see them again, because we noticed that the younger generation, they have been very stimulated by their activities. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to share with you. You know about the crises that's taking place in Korea right now. You may be aware that Mother was supposed to be in Las Vegas this week. That's why we're going there. But she was stopped at the airport just last week, around the 13th of May. And this is all part of a major effort by our enemies to destroy us. Because along with the issues and crisis that we have in Japan, we have a few crises in Korea. It's all over the Japanese media. It's all over the Korean media, and it's also in the Western media if you look for it. So we have some challenges still. So mother can't travel right now. They've put a ban on her movements. So pray for that. I know there's a meeting tonight at 7 p.m. that you may have heard about, a call to prayer. And then after that, there's a meeting with the Japanese members with Reverend Motoyama. You may have heard he wants to take care of the Japanese members. One of the reasons why you're here. Maybe those that are half Japanese can participate. Are you half Japanese? Anybody here half Japanese? There are many children that are half Japanese. Okay, so that's about that. And there's more, but I can't, spend all my time now. If you have any questions, please ask, right? And I'm trying to wear light-colored jackets as much as I can. I did so yesterday. I'm doing today. Some of them still fit. And I've had this suit for about 20 years, but it still fits, right? And what else? Yesterday, yes, we had our UPF event, and we put together some pictures, and I wanted to show you some. So I can't see them on my screen here, but maybe that's okay. Can I move this? Can I move it now? Can I move? No. Okay, so we had about 75 people there. These are people that our UPF team has been cultivating relationships with for some time, and some of them for more than 20 years, some of them for a few months, but many of them have become good friends. So we had members of parliament, we had the mayor, we had the city councillor, we had mainly leaders of different communities who were involved in their religious activity, political activity, civil society activity, protecting the family, protecting the children, stopping pornography online, and many others. So great testimonies by some of our people. So this is the group. Some people didn't come forward, and we took this picture late in the day after us all being there for 5 hours. So a good turnout, about 75 people total came. Broadcasters from the CBC, the imam who was attacked back in Quebec City in 2017, and Rosemary Lambie of the United Church, and more. So these are the ambassadors for peace that we appointed. Rosemary Lambie of the United Church, Gabriella from the group, what does she do again? Okay, that's for the women. The leader of the Center for Ecumenism, Denitia, the leader of the Baha'i, the city councillor, not the city councillor, but the consul general of Congo in Montreal, and the imam from Quebec City. So that's our, these are the ambassadors for peace, and they all gave testimonies, and some of them gave testimonies, and some of them wanted to give testimonies, but we didn't have time. So this gives you a sense of the room. We served the lunch. Thank you for your support. And this is Chantal. She was the MC. And Dr. Walsh spoke. The Mayor de Souza, who's a good friend, he comes to all of our events, whether it's Christmas party or blessing ceremony or UPF meeting. So this time we got him to speak. So this is how we create the environment, man, so that when Hirona goes fundraising in the parking lot and meets the mayor, he's friendly. He doesn't say, "What are you doing fundraising in my borough here? Did you get permission?" No, oh, yeah, I know Marc, I know Melissa, I know Serge, I know Franco, I know, they know that we're good people, right? And there's Bob, Secretary General, myself. This is the imam from Quebec City, whose mosque was attacked in 2017. It made international news. I think 10 people died or something there. Right? Yeah? 8, okay. And this is the leader of the Baha'i. She's Mrs. International Day of Peace in Saint Laurent. Very happy. This is Rosemary Lambie of the United Church of Canada. This is Denitsa from the Center for Ecumenism. And this is Radio Canada broadcaster, and he's the head of a yoga movement, right? If I'm not mistaken, and meditation. He spoke at our meeting in February. This is Gabriella for the women's group that she heads. And this is the Consul General of the Congo, who's from Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. And this is Sam Kinkaboo. He's known us for 24 years, and he is a Lutheran pastor, studied in Germany, and really respects us. And he spoke well about Father, as did Rosemary Lambie. She even brought her gown from Korea. Right? And that's Rosemary Lambie right there. And then this is a very good singer that Pierre found, I believe. He's a tenor. And I told him he pronounced the Italian perfectly. And he was very happy to hear that, right? And this is Albon from the head of the Filipino community. wonderful person. And this is Penny Rankin, one of Pierre's contacts who's been working on the pornography issue. She's also a board member of the Anglican Church here in Montreal. Dr. Walsh again, myself, and I think that's it. So thank you so much. I mean, we put those pictures together in a hurry, but we will report up, and there's still some pictures that came in from the member of parliament that we didn't have a chance to integrate into the package. You can stop the pictures, Pierre. I don't like looking at myself too long, you know. I'm already looking at myself here. Okay, so that's it. So thank you, everybody, for your moral support, for your spiritual support. I know that people like Isabel, Marc, Bob, Pierre, Julienne, Chantal, they meet every week to make this happen. And then your financial support, because the Montreal community pays for all this. We did collect, a few $1,000s from the people that came. And so that helps to defer the cost, but we subsidize. So if you want to donate more, Francois, you can, because we can always use more support financially. He's a big businessman and an accountant, so I have to target him, right? We have to target the rich second generation that we have in our community. And you guys over there, Chanil, Wanil, the time is coming, because we want to handle this over. 70% of our donations come from people who are 65 and older. So we've got to reduce that, right? We've got to make it for people who are 20 and older should be 70%, right? So that's it. Don't listen to Pierre, whatever he tells you, you got to watch it with that guy, because he used to be a banker. Can you trust a banker? Well, the Canadian people trust bankers because they voted for him as prime minister, right? He was a former banker, a Bay Street banker. So with all that, so please keep doing your thing.